Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the last edition of Established Run's NBA Injury Report Analysis show for the first half of the NBA season. All-Star break is tomorrow. Only a 3-game slate tonight. Mike Gallagher and I are, kids at the last day of school here. Mike, how are you?
Fan-freaking-tastic. Only had to listen to, single-digit pressers today. What a world. Gonna go on a hike after this. Got my hiking hat, my sunglasses, so I can just go out the door. Actually, listen to some music
Nice.
for on my hike. So I'm excited for that.
Nice.
But yeah, feeling really good today. Ready for this break. Lovely seeing the schedule. No games scheduled.
It's beautiful.
It's quite a sight to behold.
It's beautiful. Let's get into what should be a relatively short show. Let's start with the Milwaukee Bucks tonight, who will have no Chris Middleton, no Pat Connaughton. Giannis listed probable here, the dreaded probable tag. Always a fear with Giannis. But it's the first game of the slate, so we should get the information. Bulls are on the second night of back-to-back, and we'll get to them in a second. There's a lot of injury stuff there. What are your thoughts on the Bucks tonight without Pat Connaughton, without Chris Middleton? Who benefits here?
So no Connaughton's kind of a big deal, right? And we actually saw Javon Carter take some minutes from him. And I won't be surprised if he starts. They seem to like him for defense. Maybe they, not having DeMar, maybe they don't go that way. Maybe they go straight to Ingles. We've seen them go Marshawn Beauchamp as well on the spot, so it could be something like that. But didn't want to hit Giannis, so this is sort of new. We saw him bag knees late in the Boston overtime game, and he was down, writhing in pain. But afterwards, both Mike Budenholzer and Giannis said he'd be okay. Same knee he's been probable with, so definitely something to watch there. The Bulls, they're not going to have a lot of bodies. They're 7.5-point favorites, the Bucks are. So it could be a spot where, they just sit Giannis. We've seen this probable tag on him for pretty much this whole month and beyond. So definitely a chance he sits, which would be something. They'd be really shorthanded. Wonder what they would do there. I mean, I think they would probably have to start Ingles and probably play him a bunch regardless for some ball handling and stuff. But yeah, we saw Middleton get that 25-minute cap. Obviously, he's not playing today. But yeah, feeling pretty good about Drew playing well. But we should see a lot of a little bit more West, a little bit of Jingles, maybe more Brook as well, and we'll see on Giannis.
West probably draws the start, right, to match up with Levine. Is that your thought process here, or
I think they would just probably put Drew on him and just kind of call it a day.
Okay. So who do you think starts for Connaughton?
I would probably lean Jingles just because the minutes have been really good from him.
Okay.
But it could be both. Like we've seen them start Beauchamp a ton.
Beauchamp, yeah.
He was
yeah.
So I would probably lean those two guys. I think they like West because he's kind of been like functionally their backup four. The way they've been subbing him in. So I think they would kind of keep him in that role and play their smaller second unit.
Okay. Good to know. Let's get to the Bull side of things. No Alex Caruso, no DeMar DeRozan, no Derrick Jones Jr., no Goran Dragic. Second night of back-to-back here. Another disappointing loss for the Bulls, who've lost 4 in a row. Have not won a game since the trade deadline. What are your thoughts on how the Bulls cobble together a rotation tonight? Because they are a team that looks short bodies just on the whole right now.
Yeah, sorry, I wanted to make sure for the Bulls, right?
Yep.
Sorry, we got a bet that I really wanted to get today. Don't want to miss it. So I'm just like you guys. I like to get bets too. Yeah, they're really shorthanded. Going to see a ton of Ai Dosunmu. We saw him play 43 minutes yesterday. Levine as well. Levine looks to be fine. No Caruso's a pretty big deal. They're really missing wing depth. We could see a lot of minutes out of Patrick Williams. Maybe he can get mid-30s. There's no depth behind him. We'll see some Dalen Terry. Maybe we actually gave minutes to Malcolm Hill, Carlick Jones, who Mark Dankenbring knows from his younger days. They're running out of bodies. We didn't see that overlap for Vooch and Drummond. They might have to go there, especially if Giannis is out there. We've seen actually Drummond be used in double big lineups in previous years. I forget if it was last year. But that was a wrinkle that coaches like to use and just throw a big body at Giannis that way. So I would feel a little bit more confident if Giannis is in that we do get that overlap. I think we have 4 minutes of overlap right now. But, yeah, I mean, there could be so much Io, so much Kobe. You're going to expect Kobe White to draw the start. Played pretty well yesterday, 33 minutes off the bench. And, without Caruso in the way, he could play like 40 as well. They are just real thin, 5-game losing streak, down bad, don't have their pick top 4 protected. I think they kind of want to get this game, but they're probably not going to get it with the way things have been going for them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. On one hand, you've seen they show a willingness to play really, really tight. They don't have a lot of options available to them. On the other hand, it's the second night of a back-to-back, and they're decent-sized dogs. It is a home game, so that helps. But, like, how much are you going to really push Zach LaVine after 43 minutes last night on the second night of a back-to-back? Is they don't have other options. So it's like it's a little bit of a push and pull in a tough situation here to get confidence from a DFS perspective. We'll talk about it more on the show behind the paywall tonight at 5:00. But tough spot for the Bulls. I would expect the young guys who have largely been healthy to play a lot. Patrick Williams, Ayo Dosunmu. You'll probably see a lot of Dalen Terry tonight, a lot more than we've seen all year would be my expectation. It's going to be messy for the Bulls tonight. All right, let's
and just to add really quick, we were really high on Vooch yesterday, and Billy Donovan said they didn't give him the ball enough yesterday. Matchup is considerably worse today. But, I mean, they got a feat, especially if Drew's going to be draped all over LaVine, who I think I'd have to look more at this for the DFS show later, but I think Drew's kind of handled LaVine. He actually guards DeMar a little bit more, so tough matchup for LaVine. So even though both their star players have really bad matchups today. Yeah. So especially if Giannis goes, add a little bit more length and more difficulty for Vooch.
One thing I will note about Vooch against the Bucks is the Bucks in the past have made kind of a cognizant effort not to guard Vooch at the 3-point line. So you might just see a ton of pick and pop Vooch 3-pointers tonight.
He led the playoffs last year in wide open threes attempted per game. Certainly a small sample with 5 games, but definitely good. Maybe we rogue some Vooch threes today.
I'm sure people will destroy that before we even get off the air. Wolves have Rudy Gobert and Kyle Anderson, both questionable tonight. They've largely been playing through these questionable tags of late. Kyle Anderson with the back spasm has been a little bit more of a concern, but what are your thoughts here on the Wolves Q tags?
Should be good. We've seen these Q tags and them. Rudy play through all of them except the 2 back-to-back sets that he missed. Front end one, back end the other. Minutes have been pretty good. The Conley, man, there was the quotes from Finch in practice were quite illuminating. He mentioned that Conley, it took him a year to play with Gobert, and that resonated with them because, I mean, they started out so slowly. They couldn't adapt to how he played on both ends, but and getting him the ball on offense. They fed him the ball in the post. I think he had 13 paint touches. That's a little bit up for him in the last game. Certainly the Conley thing is helping him out in a big way. We've seen Anthony Edwards' usage, ball handling, generally not be affected with Mike Conley. And then we saw Taurean Prince start for spacing. I think that they're more comfortable having Conley and Edwards run the show, bringing Slomo off the bench. I think at first I thought it was a minutes thing. Now I think it's more of a offensive fit that they're going to run more space with Prince, who's arguably their best catch and shoot 3-point guy. I think that he's in a good spot. And then also we saw Jaden McDaniels score a bunch, 19 points. Finch said that they're expecting him to really benefit from this new spaced out offense. Could play a bunch. Going to have a Beal assignment, which we just took an under on Bradley Beal, is why I was really excited to take that bet. But I think McDaniels is going to be a low-key beneficiary from this new offense if he could stay out of foul trouble. And it's not the best matchup. The Wizards will
shoot 90%. If he can stay
that
out of
helps
foul
too.
trouble and shoot 90%, he should score a bunch.
I think so. Hashtag analysis. But they didn't shoot too many threes. I expect more today. I'm excited. You and I you led the charge on this on taking the Wolves -2.5, which I'm terrified. But they match up really well with the Wizards.
Yeah, they match up well with the Wizards. It's also like last game before the break for a team that's been on a road trip. Has no all-stars. 1, 2, 3 Cancun. That's kind of what I'm thinking for Washington today, but we'll see. On the Washington side, no substantial injuries to note here. Will Barton not with the team. I assume they're working on buyout stuff for him. I haven't seen it rumored, but I just assume
it's been rumored.
Yeah, okay. And then Isaiah Todd out on a G League assignment, so they're fairly healthy here. No concerns there to note. Clippers side of things.
I do want to note Kuzma really quick, which we were kind of on. I had mentioned that he went through the full workout, missed the front end, and after the game he said, "Yeah, I just wanted to take one more game off, make sure I was 100%." And he was very aggressive shooting the ball, putting the ball on the floor. Shot 10 twos, got to the line a bunch. He looked awesome. So I'm expecting full minutes. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be McDaniel. So, seeing some Prince or something along those lines could be beneficial, and then Ant or something like that too. But yes, Kyle's kind of good to go after that little ankle tweak,
as indicated by not on the injury report. Norm Powell.
Well,
Norm
do you know
Powell.
that people play through injuries all the time? But he said he was good. So
Yeah,
just wanted to note that.
but they had listed him before. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I think it's a clear indication. Some of these teams are really bad with listing, but Washington generally has been pretty good all year long. Like guys that have a chance to miss a game are listed questionable. Guys that don't, you don't see random stuff from the Wizards very often.
Yeah. Well, he did say he was practicing through pain over the weekend, though. So to go out from practicing through pain on Saturday and then crushing on Tuesday, that's pretty good progression.
Yeah, but he was questionable Tuesday. That's my like. That's
true.
kind of
well, this is why
point.
you listen to the show. This is why the show is so valuable. You could read an injury. Anybody can read an injury report, but you don't get starters jerseys and listening to Kyle Kuzma pressers. Is it All-Star break yet?
Fair. All right. Norm Powell listed out tonight, knee injury management for the Clippers. They have a lot more depth, so I would expect to see more of these things over the course of the second half of the season. It will be interesting to see because Norm Powell's kind of led that second unit in usage. They have more options now with Bones Highland, with Eric Gordon. Who do you expect to benefit here from Norm Powell's absence?
So low key, I think Terrence Mann's ceiling is a little bit higher to me. We saw him kind of step behind, and Norm was really the second unit point of attack guy. They're talking about challenging more on defense. So that's Terrence Mann's role, is the challenging guy on defense. So I expect we're not taking a Terrence Mann under today. God, that was so bad. So I'd expect him to benefit. Eric Gordon could benefit a little bit. Bones Highland not really running the second unit. A lot of his minutes overlap with Paul George, who still kind of ran the second unit with more volume. He's been taking over as well. So he could have a bigger piece of the pie with Norm cutting in him a little bit. So like the low-key stuff would be the starters in Mann and George. And then kind of the obvious stuff would be maybe a little bit of Bones, maybe a little bit of Eric Gordon. We'll see if they tighten up. We saw them go kind of straight 10. We know Lou has kind of been a 9-man kind of a player. So I think they could cut to 9, which – on a 3-game slate, when we're looking for cheap guys, getting that 7th, 8th, 9th guy could have some value there. So definitely will be tough. And Marcus Morris as well could be a guy that benefits as well if they up his minutes too. So yeah, just kind of no like clear winner like last night when it was Dennis Smith Jr. But today it's kind of be very Clippersy where it's going to be kind of a team effort.
All right, Phoenix, last team to cover here. Kevin Durant campaign, Landry Shamet still all out. Josh Okogie listed available out after the nasal fracture. We've seen Okogie playing a ton in the starting lineup of late. Do you expect that to continue? This is a team that's getting deeper, has more options available, but 39 minutes from Okogie, 30 minutes from Craig. We saw Craig get up to like 40 the game before. It seems like there's a little bit of a hot hand from them, but first game, Baisley did not pose a threat. TJ Warren did not pose a threat.
Yep.
The bench is still relatively depleted with like Ish Wainwright and Damian Lee. So are we still going to see these really big minute ceilings for guys like Josh Okogie and Torrey Craig?
Yeah, so talked about this. Okogie's an on-ball guy, and you got a guy like De'Aaron Fox. You're going to want someone like Josh Okogie to pick up most of the minutes. So he was a bigger priority to me as far as role defensively. Today, both of them. Because Okogie's going to guard Paul George, Torrey Craig's going to guard Kawhi Leonard. They both could play a ton, so I feel a little bit better about Craig's minutes. We know that the downside to Okogie here would be the multiple times mentioned minutes limit for the Clippers guys, which hasn't been quite stuck to. We saw their minutes up a little bit. But, not as confident that Okogie gets upper 30s today, but I feel pretty good that he's going to have 31, 32-minute floor if he avoids foul trouble. Feel better about Craig's minutes, as I mentioned. Not expecting Baisley to play. There are comments from Monty Williams saying that he's not quite ready. They want to figure out how to use him if he's a wing, a 3-4, whatever. So doesn't look like he's close. TJ Warren, as we talked a lot about, he's just not ready for a big role. They don't need the offense. They're playing. We should mention Booker's minutes could come up a little bit. Looked like he was quite clearly on a 30 cap. He got pulled with 30 seconds left in the game. That would have got him to about 30 minutes. Chris Paul's playing a ton. Last game before the break, Ayton's playing a ton. So, exciting game. Pretty. The first game on TNT sucks, but the last game I think should be fun. And I kind of want to go with no games on tomorrow.
Yeah, easy spot to get in an NBA game. What are your thoughts on Booker's minutes limitations tonight, if any, are still intact?
I would be surprised if it's over 32. They seem to be pretty methodical with this 25, 28, 30, 32. It's kind of the rhythm, get him to the break where he's close. I think that's kind of the plan. So I would say 32 would be the limit. Probably put him, for me, I'm setting minutes, I'd probably go like 30 and a half.
Okay. All right. That will do it for the final injury report analysis show of the first half. As always, please support the people who are supporting us. This show is brought to you by our friends at Underdog Fantasy. They have daily NBA snake drafts. They won't on the All-Star break, but they have those going, now for tonight's slate. And then you can also hop into best ball contests, which are filling at an incredible pace. It's going to be an awesome season of best ball NFL this summer over on Underdog. Huge cash prizes over there. If you're playing NBA Pick'em, in-season subscribers can use our tool to compare ETR projections to their fantasy Pick'em games. If you haven't signed up for Underdog yet, use promo code ETR for a matching deposit bonus up to $100. That's promo code ETR at underdogfantasy.com. All right, myself and Mike, one more show before the All-Star break and before vacation time for us. 5 o'clock Eastern time behind the paywall. Myself and Mike will walk through the DFS implications of this 3-game slate and, of course, bring the flag plants and all the Galaxy brain contrarian thoughts as well, how to get different on a 3-game slate, take strategy questions on these smaller slates. We've had good experiences with the viewers interacting because we have more time to take questions. So we'll do some of that as well. Join us behind the paywall. If you do sign up for a package at this point, any billing on weekly or monthly will be suspended for the All-Star break. So you wouldn't be paying any of the days that we're off. It will restart the cycle next Thursday. Also would note that we've reduced prices on the in-season DFS stuff for the seasonal packages. So those are discounted now for the rest of season if you want to get in there and join us. And as always, if you are uninterested in giving us your hard-earned dollars, we do ask for your hard-earned clicks. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, get notifications whenever we go live, and smash that like button, feed the algorithm, help us feed our families. We'll help feed you the DFS and injury information you need to make your DFS lineups, your prop bets, your spread bets, so on and so forth. Tail us on the Wolves tonight. We can all feel the pain of the Wolves together.
Oh my God. What a great way to end the first half, betting on the Wolves.
Or the joy of the Wolves. We will see what happens there.
There won't be joy. There will be, maybe you win money in the end, but it will not be a joyous occasion.
But yeah. So thank you all for checking us out. Thank you all for spending time with us during the first half of the NBA season. We will be back next Thursday. Mike and Gary will be taking you through the injury analysis. And then on Friday, Mike and Fan, as I will be back the following week from vacation. But we will be refreshed and ready to sprint towards the last 6 weeks of the regular season and, of course, into the NBA playoffs. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the All-Star break. Take care, everybody. We will see you next Thursday.